into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right. Why not?
Okay.
Well, this is the music a lot of people wish closed out the Royal Rumble last night. Unfortunately, it did not. Well, where to start? I don't know. We've never seen anything like this in the past 24 hours in the world of pro wrestling. So, welcome to the Raw After Show. There's not a blizzard in LA, so we said, you know what? A lot of people tweeted us they wanted to have a show. We said, you know, we're gonna go. We don't even know what we're gonna get. No idea what Raw was going to be.
Hey, it's raining out there. That was really treacherous.
It was very treacherous. It took me an extra 3.5 minutes to get here.
We totally understand a blizzard.
But yeah, so we wanted to come in and do a show because everyone is talking. Twitter has been ablaze. I would imagine non-wrestling fans have to be so confused by social media today, not knowing what the hell's going on, because I don't even know what the hell's going on. Let's get right to it. Jonny Loquasto at JQuasto. What up? Yeah, wearing my Monsoon Heenan 2016 t-shirt. Wishful thinking. If only they were in control. I think things would be so much better for everybody.
Or at least different.
Can you imagine those two as co-general managers? God, that'd be great television.
Well, here we are.
And maybe Vince would actually listen to him. All right, let's move on. All right, in studio, Kathy Kelly's not here. Busy night at the SAG Awards last night. She's doing a whole bunch of work, but we got a squad right here. That man in that vest, and is that a Macho Man t-shirt?
No, that's Zack Ryder.
It's a Zack Ryder t-shirt. All right. I should have
looked. Rumble's own Zack Ryder.
2015 Royal Rumble returnee.
He did good, though.
Zack Ryder. Find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale. Wrestling a Padre Slamcast on Nerdist. He's Dale Rutledge.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, it's been so long since I've seen you.
I know, it's been a full hour since our last show together.
I know.
I don't know what we're gonna say today. I'm excited and worried. So here we are.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be very, very fun. And I'm going to say I've never said your name correctly once, but you can find her on Twitter at Kaorius. Is that correct?
Sure.
What's the right way to say your Twitter name?
It's Kaorius.
I wasn't that far off.
But aside from my Twitter name, what's my name?
Kaori.
Oh, God.
Corey. Kaori.
Whatever, it's fine.
What's the right way?
Kaori.
What the hell did I say differently?
You said K, but let's not make this about me.
Kaori.
We could.
Kaori Takee.
Sure.
I got the last name correct.
Yes.
She's Kaori Takee.
Okay.
I'm Caucasian. I'm sorry.
We'll be calling you Kathy for the evening. So deal with it.
So what are your thoughts, Kat?
Kathy with the K is fine.
Excellent. So where do we start? Obviously, Monday Night Raw was a recap. It showed the entire Rumble. It showed the entire championship match. Had some interviews. But we just need to... God, let's just get into it. Even 24 hours post-Rumble... The number 3 trend right now, or at least close to it, is hashtag cancel WWE Network, which is just, it's a sad thing to even say.
I think it's kind of ridiculous, quite honestly. Who's going to cancel it, right?
Well, here's the problem. Here's the positive and the negative. They made the network monthly now. So if you do cancel, you're only losing $10. And if the product gets better in their eyes, bam, they jump right back in.
They're going to go back in. I think anyone who's canceling, sorry guys, they're just trying to prove a point.
See, I'm self-aware enough to know I love the network. Regardless of what happened in the Rumble, there's so much amazing footage from the history of pro wrestling.
The network's not about,
it's not about the network. I get it. It's about the product. And it's just, we talked about this. It's really interesting because we've never seen anything like this. Like back in the day, it was heels and baby faces. You booed when the bad guy won. You cheered when the good guy won.
Yeah.
Now it's like everything is so confusing. And it's like the firestorm that happened last night at the Royal Rumble. First off, I'm from Philly. I know how the crowds are.
Right.
Passionate, unpredictable, angry would explain a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah.
I do like the first picture that comes up on that hashtag, though. It's kind of
what is the first picture?
Kind of humorous.
Wow, he really does.
Brock Lesnar does look like a Lego man.
Yeah, that's well. Thank you, Steven. Steven Lemieux, everybody. Man, is it me? We talked about this. During the Rumble match, it started off so strong. We had the Bubba Ray return. That was exciting. We had Boogeyman have a stare down with Bray Wyatt. Yeah. We had a Wyatt family reunion. Daniel Bryan comes out at number 10. We're like, boom, business is picking up.
Yep.
And then from the moment Daniel Bryan went out, and then the way that Ziggler, Ambrose, Ryback just unceremoniously dumped over the ropes.
Yeah.
It's almost like they had to know a hurricane was coming, right?
This, and not the hurricane. I think this is...
That would have been really awesome.
Been really good.
We love Shane Helms.
To me, listen, Roman Reigns, we kind of knew it was coming. So
I'll be honest, I didn't, though. It was so predictable. I'm like, there's no way they're going to go that route. I really thought they were going to do a swerve. I did. But
being predictable makes you know that it's coming. Regardless, however you want to look at it.
I guess.
Did I want it to happen? No. It was certainly a high contender for what could have happened. To me, that's fine. It's a business decision. It's ironic to me that mostly everyone that's complaining now wanted Reigns to win last year when
that's
he was
the
number
thing.
12 to Batista.
We all know wrestling fans.
The main problem with Batista was that he was part-time and then he was an older guy. Reigns is neither of those things.
Right.
We can't please everyone all the time. That aside, I thought who won is fine ultimately, but the way what you're describing, the way it was they dumped Ziggler, the way they dumped Ambrose, the way they dumped Wyatt. Wyatt had the best first half of a Rumble that maybe we've ever seen. Yeah. He got on a mic. He had time, to just be like, "What? Who's next?
Incredible.
This is my Rumble," And then they were just like, just all those guys. Even Daniel Bryan was a little unceremonious as well.
It really was, and Bray Wyatt knocked him out.
Yeah. Are they building a storyline between Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan? It seems weird to revisit that already.
I think...
Because Daniel Bryan pinned Wyatt on the Raw before the Rumble.
Yeah. And then when Reigns eliminated Show and Kane, which it was kind of there's a way to lackadaisically eliminate those two guys. It kind of was. Then the bell rings... But everyone knows Rusev ain't out. Rusev jumps in the ring, and we're like, all right, business is going to pick up here.
The Rock is there. The Rock and Rusev had that beef.
Right. And then 10 seconds later, Rusev gets speared, and he's gone. I was like...
Yeah, was Rusev an accident?
I don't know. They forgot. He was like, wait,
I didn't go over the top.
I didn't officially leave.
It's literally like, what's the phrase? Never poke the bear. It's almost like the moment Daniel Bryan got knocked out, that was the first poke, and then the stick got sharper and sharper and sharper until the very end. By the time Reigns won the match,
Daniel Bryan's story is always one of challenge, of climbing a mountain. Now, to me, I could see Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble. He didn't. And I don't think it hurts Daniel Bryan. He has the fans.
Right.
He has the momentum.
And he could end up in the main event. We don't know.
He could still end up in the main event. We don't know how that's going to go. Last year it changed a bunch.
Well, and actually CM Punk did Daniel Bryan a huge favor. Punk left, and I think that really led Bryan to being in the main event.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But either way, I feel like Daniel Bryan can figure this out. It's not really... to me, it was more about Ziggler. Why did they fire Ziggler and then have him come back at number 30? He was gone for a few weeks, storyline-wise. Anyway, you can't convince me the WWE didn't realize, maybe they didn't know hashtag cancel WWE Network was coming, but they certainly knew if you have Big Show and Kane, two guys that have been around forever but are part of the Authority and don't really have a lot to gain from eliminating a bunch of people outside of breaking his own record or Shawn Michaels' record.
To me, Kane and Big Show should have been like, they eliminated a few people, but they should have been eliminated in not a comical way.
A much bigger fiasco than
exactly.
I just wanted to see the bigger wrestlers put on more of a show, where after number 16, everyone was just kind of getting eliminated so quickly. With Titus O'Neil, for example. That was just redonkulous, and that sucked. And then with Cesaro left, Wade Barrett left real quickly. It just felt like a blur. The first half was, all right, this is cool, number 10's great. And then all of a sudden, it was just out. The last 15 minutes to me kind of was hogwash.
And what good does it do to eliminate all the fan favorites? It literally was Ambrose, Wyatt,
but the
Daniel
way
Bryan,
that it happened.
to just be like, dump them like that. What does that do Big Show and Kane any help? Like, do they need anything? Like, what do they gain from that?
Nothing. That's why I'm so confused at what went down. And the sad part about this whole thing is nobody's talking about one of the best championship matches we've seen in quite some time. All three of those guys just blew the spot up. I mean, every one of them had their moments. You know, Cena held the match together with Rollins while, you know, Brock Lesnar was laid out. Brock Lesnar was on fire right from the start with the Germans, and just he keeps coming back from the AA, all that stuff. And then Rollins, for God's sake, he's breaking out his old Ring of Honor stuff. You know, the elbow off the announcer's table, I don't even know what you want to call that, the crazy moonsault.
He was calling it a Phoenix moonsault is the name for it.
I mean, that's a lot cooler than Phoenix. I've been there.
That's not nice.
I love Phoenix.
But yeah, I mean, that was certainly a contender for match of the year.
Yeah.
And Rollins came out that thing looking like a star.
Yeah, well, they all did really good.
Yeah, I mean, Lesnar somehow is more beast-like than he was going into that match.
Oh, I mean, when he walked into like down the podium, what is it called again? The ramp.
The entrance ramp.
Yeah, there you
that
go.
Thing.
That word.
He looks scary.
Yes, Kathy with a K.
Yes.
Love it. That's
Not
great.
as smart as Kathy with a C.
Yeah, I don't know, but let's talk a little bit about tonight as well, because I think
we need to, but I know people are watching specifically because they want to know if we have anything to say about the Rumble, which we do, and we're just being blatantly honest. Like, we're not the kind of people that panic, because, you know, last year they fixed, as mad as everyone was about Batista, it got fixed. WrestleMania 30, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm just perplexed at what they had to know this was going to happen. Not as severe as we thought. I never would have thought we saw the firestorm we did today on social media.
Right.
You know, I have friends that are like, "Oh, I'm canceling the network." I'm like, "Wow, really?"
But they're not going to cancel it. I think last time we heard, like, only 250 people canceled their subscriptions.
I mean, no. The only people that know those numbers officially are the WWE, and I seriously doubt they're going to leak any of that to anybody, because we also heard some crazy number earlier in the day.
Yeah. I mean, and look, people have a right to be mad. People have a right to tweet whatever they want, do whatever they want. It's their money.
They should.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I understand the voice has to be heard, and it's being heard loud and clear. The question is, what's going to happen now?
Yeah. I still would rather see a three-way between the Shield guys. I mean, maybe that's down the road one day, you know, but
or the Wyatts.
Or the Wyatts.
Yes.
I mean, I think positive things that came out of the Rumble, Zack Ryder's return.
Yep.
He actually had a pretty good moment inside the Rumble. I thought that was good.
Broski boot.
Bubba Ray, of course. Like, I want that to be a run. I want that to be an RVD, a Jericho of 2015, where Bubba Ray comes in, has a program with somebody. I mean, because he looked good, he moved well. I mean, I know he's been in TNA and doing his thing over there, but to take a 10-year absence from WWE, that was a great surprise.
I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
That was shocking to me when they said that.
I want the Boogeyman to have a run with Wyatt. I know it's ridiculous.
Maybe you could just accompany Wyatt to the ring or something. I like him.
It's a bummer that he eliminated him so quick. I love the standoff.
It was good.
It'd be great to see Boogeyman back, just because there's nothing like him. It doesn't matter if he wins. When he just shows up, you're like, oh, he's must-see TV.
Look, if they can have a WLC match, they can have that happen. Okay.
Just some kind
They
of a
had
warm
two
match.
WLC matches, didn't they?
See, there you go.
DDP came in and just handed out diamond cutters to anybody that would take them.
Making it rain diamond cutters up in here.
And I don't know why everybody's so mad about Roman Reigns winning anyways, because we all truly know that Curtis Axel won the Royal Rumble for 2015.
I disagree.
I'm happy for Axel to get his moment on Twitter afterwards. People everywhere, he was like trending. He kind of took part in the whole thing.
Look, he got a paycheck for doing what he did.
Yeah.
So.
And one of the better spots in the match for me was Kidd and Daniel Bryan. I'd love to see. I mean, I don't know if
that's actually
we'd
good.
ever see that, but I think they moved really well together. They are similar stature. I can
Kidd had a great showing. And Fandango. This great showing.
Yeah.
Which was, you know, everyone knows how good Fandango is. It's honestly, I think he's a better performer in the ring than his character will allow him to be.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to find a way to maybe get away from the dancing. If he has a valet, let her help him win matches. Let her cheat. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he should just completely change his character? Should we package him?
I think everyone knows that should have happened a year ago. But, you know, he's already been new and improved.
Like when?
Well, no, I've been saying that. trying to, find some positives here, guys.
And I don't really understand The Rock's involvement. I think, it's nice to have him. They're trying to Band-Aid, I think, Roman Reigns' reaction with The Rock, and I love that they're family. I think it could be something nice for WrestleMania if he's in his corner or whatever.
It kind of destroyed it a little bit, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, tonight they played up his family heritage huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that angle.
He does have that going for him.
Yeah, I thought Reigns was probably the most comfortable on the microphone as we've seen him.
I mean, I knew people weren't going to be happy with Reigns winning, and it's very predictable, but I'm kind of shocked at just how much people are so raving about it.
And the sad part is, it's not hatred for Roman Reigns. He's been put in this position.
Right.
Yeah, well, most of the time, yeah.
The crazy thing is, if he didn't have the hernia surgery and missed those 3 to 4 months, maybe things would be different. But like when you're gone for 3 to 4 months, you're even less ready when you come back to carry the torch. But
I mean, I'm hearing different things. People are just upset with the way the Rumble ended. People don't like Reigns because he's not a good speaker on the mic, which I think he did actually okay tonight.
I mean, Lesnar is not only awful on the mic generally most of the time. He's also a part-timer, but everybody learned to move past that because he's such a beast, because he has Heyman in his corner. It's all a matter of like what you're feeling good about.
Plus, don't forget, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think Lesnar should be considered one of the greatest athletes of our generation, really, because I mean, no one else has done what he's done. Collegiate champion, UFC champion, WWE champion. No one can say they've done that. So why shouldn't he be considered? He's kind of got carte blanche. That's why I think people accept it. There's just an authenticity to Brock Lesnar that nobody on earth has.
So what's ideal for you? Let's say it remains the same. Do you have Reigns go over on Lesnar so that he can tout that, and just have that be clean? Or do you have that happen and maybe have Rollins cash in his Money in the Bank at WrestleMania so that he can say he won and then Rollins leaves as champ?
What would make you guys happy at this point?
And my opinion's irrelevant. I can tell you what will happen, though, if they go a certain route.
Irrelevant opinions is all we have.
Well, that's true. That's true. I will say this, and I don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 months, but right now, it's almost like in sports. You're like, well, if the playoffs happen tomorrow, this would happen. If it just stays Reigns versus Lesnar, and Reigns goes over, number one, people are going to be cheering for Lesnar like he's Hulk Hogan late 80s.
Right.
And they're going to be booing Reigns like he's Iron Sheik mid to late 80s. Doesn't matter what kind of family heritage they play up. Doesn't matter what kind of, like, Roman Reigns gave a decent interview tonight saying, hey, people can say what they want. I got to do what I got to do. It's not going to matter, man. If he goes over, I think, in my opinion, over Brock Lesnar clean at WrestleMania, Royal Rumble's it's going to be another reaction like that, I think.
I don't
know. Maybe
it's
I'm wrong.
harder to have a reaction like that, at least in the live crowd, at an 80,000 person thing, unless it's like the Undertaker losing.
We had listeners tweeting us that were at the event saying how just like electric.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I gotta say though that
that's 10,000 people.
Considering what happened last night, and I know it's negative, but there's a shit ton of people talking about it, and it's flickering through.
Not the right way though.
Yes,
that hashtag is, you know what I'm saying?
But at least it engages people who are like on Twitter thinking, what the heck is going on? So there's some publicity there. I'm starting to think positive.
Is all media good media? I mean, that's
essentially, kind of, yeah.
They say it is, but I mean, to me, I would either like to see this stay clean and have Rollins cash in, because then, that night
at Mania.
I don't want him to cash in.
Okay.
I'd rather have that, and then everybody's happy. Reigns gets to say that he won the championship. Rollins leaves as champ, or we make it like a fatal 4-way, or change the match itself. I just don't see us getting another triple threat.
Well, the question is, do we know if Lesnar's staying post Mania? I have no idea.
I know we don't.
God, I would hate to see him leave. Man, he's when he's on the TV screen, him and Heyman, you have to watch. Yeah. Like and like even tonight during the interview, the way Heyman conducted, it was barely an interview. He asked one question in 10 minutes.
He just went on.
But just the way Heyman, I mean, he went over the whole history. Heyman did start out as a photographer as a kid, and that's how he worked his way in. I mean, his story is incredible, and he did photograph his family and all. Like, the history was great. I don't know. If Lesnar leaves, I guess you got to do something because he's wearing the title. I don't know.
Well, what if he's stripped of the title? What do you think is going to happen then? How would he stay? You know?
Great question. He could disappear for a while, come back.
I mean, he's so far he's the only one that broke the streak, which is a big deal for many.
Yeah. Well, what about Fastlane? We already have a match for that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do something big at Fastlane to put it on the map. And ultimately, Brock Lesnar is leaving, whether it's this year or next year, or, you know, he only has a couple more years to go on him, I would presume. I mean, he's not working that much, but...
Check.
The guy's such a beast, though.
You have... But the whole point of this industry is to have people build other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody go over on him. I mean, this is why I was mad last month, because I thought this was going to be the Cena and Brock Lesnar show, and the last person that needs a rub is John Cena.
Right.
So if Rollins gets a great match, out of it at Royal Rumble, and Reigns gets a great match out of it at WrestleMania, I mean, this is the road we've been on for these Shield guys for the past 2 years. Like, did they think they were just going to drop Roman Reigns? I mean, I don't know where they thought.
I just don't know where
should go.
I don't know where the change went from everyone loving Roman Reigns and pushing for him to people thinking he sucks. I don't want him to get pushed.
Because they feel force-fed on
It's just weird.
Right. People don't want to feel... It's
they want to pick who they like, not be told who they like.
Right. It's funny they're related because it's almost like the Rocky Maivia in the mid-'90s.
It is very similar.
Rocky Maivia was force-fed to people till they finally got to the point where they're chanting Rocky sucks, they're angry. But the difference is The Rock had this charisma inside of him that we've never ever seen, and we never will see again from a wrestler, a guy that can talk like no other. It's clear Reigns is not going to start talking like The Rock, so there's a huge difference there.
But everyone's saying that he's been trying to.
No, he's improving, but that's beside the point. You know, The Rock also wasn't main eventing WrestleMania 2 years into his run. At least I might be incorrect. I think he had an Intercontinental title feud for a while. So, right?
Yeah. But they haven't invested in a lot of other guys. Like, the Shield is kind of their... All three of those guys is kind of their bread and butter.
Yeah, they did
That's
so
who
well.
they've been developing so strongly. They should be focused on other guys, too. There are so many guys like Ziggler that have been there a while.
Yep.
And can run
Ziggler.
with the ball.
Yeah.
You know, but they haven't... This has been Ziggler's biggest year yet, so I don't think we should, you know, put
That's
him out
another
of it.
thing I think people got so mad about. When Ziggler came out at number 30, everyone was like, oh, it's hope!
And then...
That's another thing that confuses me. Ziggler comes out at number 30. How long was he in the match? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, very short.
Ziggler's arguably no one better in the ring than him.
They obviously want us to be upset. I mean, they have to know that they would affect us by getting rid of everybody in that same way. So I just have to hope that this is a build to something more satisfying at WrestleMania. That's all Royal Rumble has ever truly been anyways, was a build to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you the history of every single Royal Rumble, but there certainly was never a response like this one. At least with Batista, people were mad, but there was still a much better finish.
But you didn't have an opportunity for a response like this one because Twitter was never at a success level like it is right now in this very moment.
You think so?
3 years ago, you didn't have Twitter.
3 years ago, yeah.
I mean, we're talking... It's a bigger reaction because we all have each other's ear and we all have phones.
Yep.
So every single thing that I think, I can immediately say it. I don't have to think about it, and I don't even have to call you to tell you about it.
And if people don't like what we say, they tell us.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
So it's just, is this any different than a reaction than maybe in the past? We don't know because the comparison isn't fair. You can't really say that technology wasn't there.
That's why I'm confused by what went on in the Rumble, because back in the 90s even, okay, so you get everyone mad in the arena. You get everyone mad who watch on TV. That's it. There's no network. There's no Twitter. There was no internet.
Yeah.
So you can't have the same exact approach that they did back then. And like I said, I don't know who's behind it. I don't know if everyone's, blaming Vince. I don't know whose idea it was. But it's like you have to be, if you're making this reality era, you have a show called 24 that really goes behind the curtain of WrestleMania, which I don't support. I'd like to keep some things kayfabe, but that's just my opinion. But if you're going to really go with the reality era, you got to be ready for this kind of stuff.
Oh, Rostafa in the chat says rumor is Jamie Noble booked the Rumble match and is getting a lot of heat.
What?
Rumor. So I don't know.
I don't buy that. I mean, not just one person's going to book a whole Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That's not how things work.
And I honestly think if they had given more time to the guys that we love, it wouldn't have been
I
such
think
a
so,
hard
too.
pill to swallow.
Yep.
But it's the fact that they were like, screw these other guys. You know this is Reigns' show. Reigns is going to win it, and that's all we're caring about.
And honestly, there wasn't many cool moves that I actually enjoy watching and seeing. Like
Zack Ryder had a big moment. Wyatt had a big moment. Bubba Ray.
Kofi crowd surfing.
Kofi crowd surfing, although it was a short run for Kofi, given his other years.
Yeah, they were, man.
I don't
they
even
were-
think Reigns did a Superman punch. There was like just nothing really.
There was one Superman punch,
No, there
yeah.
was. I probably turned around.
It
or
was
something.
too
I think it's the Rusev, wasn't
Big
it?
Show, or no, it's the someone when it was the Big Show. I think when The Rock helped him out. It's another question. The Rock shows up last night. Do you think he's going to? Is he going to show up more over the next 2 months?
I don't think
Or are they
so.
going to let him go his own way, like as far as Roman goes?
I mean, The Rock has a lot of filming and promoting to do. Fast 7 comes out. He's recording some other
Mm-hmm.
movies. I think he'll come when he can.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that we might see him at ringside at WrestleMania, but I don't think he's going to be a part of the programming.
Yeah, I think he was there to basically help catapult Roman Reigns last night, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work out.
To me, it was almost like a move. Like, well, there's no way they're going to boo The Rock. I mean, at that point, there was no stopping that train.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny that people were cheering for Rusev just to not have Reigns
right.
win.
That's
It's like,
a polarizing response right there.
that is exactly what happened to Reigns last year for Batista. I don't know. They should just stop making the winner be so predictable, and then maybe people wouldn't be as upset.
That's definitely part of it. And for people to say like, oh, this is their only option, no, it wasn't. I mean, if you wanted to, Bray Wyatt could have won the Royal Rumble. Bam, he goes against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar becomes the most massive babyface you've seen in years. And those two could have an intense battle where nobody else has to get involved because Bray Wyatt has his just whole aura about him. He's one of the only people that actually could intimidate Brock Lesnar. That would be great stuff.
There's a rumor in the chat again. It was rumored that Brock Lesnar taped his interview earlier in the day, then flew home. Now he's being advertised to be at SmackDown Live. It's really weird calling it SmackDown Live, by the way.
I'm surprised he got a flight out, actually.
I don't know. It's rumor again.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of rumors on a day like
Yeah.
this. There's going to be so...
That's true.
There's going to be a lot of hearsay. Like I said, we have no idea what's going on. We're just here to talk about it. Obviously, chat roll's on fire. So I'm glad we're doing this show because it's... I'm very unpredictable. Well, the Rumble wasn't, but what's happened afterwards has been
Yeah.
rather unpredictable. What else can we talk about, Dale?
Fastlane. Cena and Rusev.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they owned us. So Cena Rusev was a rumor for a long time of WrestleMania match, and they even kind of addressed that on tonight's hodgepodge show that we got. Is that this was something the Authority had planned for WrestleMania, but they're moving it forward to Fastlane, but they don't really say why.
I'm kind of glad. Get it over with. I don't want that to be a main event, an event at WrestleMania at all.
Well, unless it ends up,
I mean, I think we might get it twice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not a fan of Rusev. Never was.
I like him a lot, and I think this is where we should be with guys like Cena. Although a lot of people were upset that Cena won against Wyatt last year. To think that Wyatt had his very first WrestleMania against John Cena,
Which is
win or
great,
lose,
yeah.
you know, that was a pretty big thing for
It didn't
his
hurt him at all
career
to
building.
lose.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was the other losses he took later on. But
Yeah, none of us remember. I have a short memory. So, like, I don't remember who loses to who. If you put on an amazing show and you tell a great story, that's a
Yeah.
victory in my eyes.
Yeah, and I think that match was a great case for that. Now, Rusev, I thought might be the next version of that for this year with Cena. Whether they do it twice or they've figured out maybe they're retinkering something with Cena. Who knows? I don't know what they're thinking, but I like this type of mentality. Cena versus Rusev, even Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I like to build the roster that you're going to have for a while with these guys who have been around.
It makes me wonder, too, if they're changing any plans. You know, like...
Ambrose walked all the way
Probably.
from Raw to headquarters, quote unquote, to be on the show. So I mean, they obviously want to do stuff with these guys.
Yeah.
I think we're a very impatient bunch now.
Well, that's society in general. Society itself is incredibly entitled. People always want what they're going to get. You don't always get what you want.
Yeah. I mean,
So...
last night's win for Reigns could be considered like, one of your favorite guys on The Walking Dead getting killed or something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's emotional and it makes you upset. And then you watch to find out what happens after that. Like, I can't think of any show on TV, because this is still a show. You can call it's sports entertainment, yes, but it's still a TV show.
Yep.
I can't think of anything I've ever watched that I was happy with it every single episode that I watched. Yes, it's a big deal. I'm not deflating what happened. And again, I'm very upset about the way all my favorite guys went out.
Yes.
Literally every single one of my favorite guys was thrown out with no real ceremony to it.
Nothing special. They just literally just like a shovel.
Barrett is back to, I don't know, being a champ and never winning. It's just another irritation of mine.
Don't remind me.
I don't understand that. But anyways, I'm just saying I don't mind being upset when I know that I have something else to look forward to. You know, WrestleMania is very much like the cataclysmic moment. Actually, the Raw after WrestleMania has become kind of that moment that we all look forward to as fanboys.
And, you know, you remember how upset everyone was after the Rumble last year, but you also remember, I mean, we were lucky enough to be there. The moment at WrestleMania when Daniel Bryan, number one, took out Triple H, then won the triple threat. Like, talk about a celebration.
Yeah.
It was because, you know, let's not forget the SummerSlam before that, which we were at as well in L.A., Daniel Bryan wins the championship, then gets screwed by Triple H and Randy Orton. So him winning at WrestleMania was the ultimate...
Yeah, we get a lot of cool moments that people are easy to forget because they get angry about other stuff. But, like, did anyone think Brock Lesnar was going to give the beat down to John Cena?
Nope.
That he gave at SummerSlam?
No.
Like, that was so satisfying and so unexpected. And that was only, like, literally, like, half a year ago. You know, it's like...
People get used to things. For a while, people were upset that Brock Lesnar wasn't showing up on Raw and on pay-per-views, and now they're okay with it.
Special attraction. Well, let's be honest. At this point, we know wrestling fans, they're a little emotional.
Understandable.
That's an understatement.
You watch anything for years, you're going to feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not discrediting any of that, and I was pretty emotional, but I just feel like they have other things, and they can fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to see a compilation video of all the fans that punch holes in their wall after pay-per-view. There's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how angry people get. But at the same time, it is what it is.
But Rollins was, if he wasn't a star before, last night he was a star. And I really want to, I think he should be in the main event. I don't know where their plan is for him. I don't.
They might not know. I mean, after last night, they may have had a clear path, and then after last night, they might be grateful for this blizzard right now, so they could figure out what to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then again, that interview tonight where Lesnar and Reigns had a face-off would make you think that it's happening.
Pretty much happening.
And it was a pretty cool face-off. I mean, that final interview with Heyman really building it up. Heyman can build anyone up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did good.
No, there was a great line where he says, you know, unlike him, Brock says, referring to Heyman, I don't respect you. And then Reigns had a killer line. He's like, but you will.
Yeah.
Very simple, very straightforward, but a good build for a match.
Yeah, I thought Reigns did well tonight. I was kind of worried, but I'm curious to see how everyone's going to respond to tonight's.
The thing is with Reigns, he has to get better in the moment. This was a studio interview. It was done earlier in the day. What, you know, for example, comparing him, you know, because The Rock's his cousin. The Rock live, he was at his best. He was unpredictable.
Yeah.
He would. You look at old interviews with him and the coach, or him and Michael Cole. They had no idea what was coming. You literally had to just go with it. I don't know if Reigns is ever going to be that comfortable.
I mean, he's improved a lot from just when he left for injury.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been around that much. Brock Lesnar has been around for 13 or plus years. Man can't talk in a microphone still.
Can't.
So, whatever. They give him a manager if he can't sort it out. Like, I think he has a lot of things that they like, obviously, so they're going to work on it.
Dean Ambrose is manager. Just kidding.
Dean needs no one.
I love Dean.
You know, there were a couple questions in the interviews tonight that were a little interesting, like when Byron Saxton asked, I think it was Saxton, asked Reigns, many people think you were handpicked by the higher-ups of the company. That was really, not telling. It was just kind of behind the curtain-y, don't you think?
Yeah.
It was a provocative question for a guy that works for the company, yeah.
I feel like that was their way of being like, hey, we know what's going on.
We hear you.
I mean, come on, guys.
Please don't cancel. So yeah, Thursday night we got SmackDown/Raw.
That's gonna be weird.
A little bit. Daniel Bryan Kane casket match.
Yeah,
That's gonna be weird.
Let's just get that over with. I don't know why this Kane. I mean, yeah, Kane injured him, quote unquote. We've had a couple of matches. Daniel Bryan said it himself tonight. This is the final moment of this. Let's be done with it so I can move on to WrestleMania. I hope that's their intention.
It's kind of weird. Have we ever seen a casket match not on a pay-per-view? I don't know if anyone knows that. But
well, that's like we got the ambulance match on Raw for the first time ever.
Right.
At the beginning of the year. They're just,
they're changing things up.
Trying some stuff.
It makes you wonder if
Fastlane.
SmackDown's going to have any damage control. Or if it's just... It is what it is at this point.
I think every show has damage control. I feel like there's checks and balances. That's why the script changes sometimes the day that they go out. They're like, Matt, no, you're not going to do that. You're actually going to go over on this guy. I think it's always being figured out. That's the joy or the problem with a show that's on every single week for the rest of your life.
It's a lot.
I mean, the fact is they do listen to the viewers and the fans, and that's why things are always changing.
Yeah. They can only be but so reactionary because
Right.
guys have things in their contracts too. Like Batista, I think, was one of the ones that's an example of he was supposed to win the title, but the reaction was so horrible for him, they switched it all around and, made some adjustments for
That was dumb because he won because it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what people think. And that's the shit that pisses me off, personally.
Kathy with a K getting wild.
Yeah. What's up, Cat? Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Gonna be.
That's a good one. That's a good pick.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Arnold's going to give a great speech. The video package was outstanding. That's a great celebrity inductee.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a much better one than that. So we got that going on. Renee Young, Daniel Bryan interview. There really wasn't really anything significant from this interview. Daniel Bryan said the fans were disappointed Roman Reigns won. So was I, but of course. Casket match this Thursday. I already mentioned at the end, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Nice little standoff. Great questions from Eamon.
So would you put Daniel Bryan in the main event if you had the opportunity to do a four-way or something? Or who would you put Daniel Bryan against if he's not in that title picture? How important is the title picture for WrestleMania? To me, it's like I want a good card. I don't want just one good match at the show of the year.
Yeah.
So it's more about storyline building for me. It's always been that way.
Sure.
But where do you put Daniel Bryan if you could pick?
Well, my thing is, I already accepted the fact that WrestleMania 31 would probably not be as good as WrestleMania 30. Because, the big shows, the big numbers always tend to be, boom, the huge ones. And WrestleMania 30, that was such an amazing card from start to finish.
Yeah.
Just like SummerSlam was.
Yeah.
So I already accepted the fact that WrestleMania 31 probably wouldn't have the build-up that 30 did. As far as Daniel Bryan, I mean, he's one of those guys where the title doesn't have to be around him, but I think part of the reason people are so livid about Bryan not being in the title picture is technically he never lost it.
Yeah.
He had to give it up.
That's a good point.
Yeah. He brought that up tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems like a valid argument for entering the title picture, doesn't it?
And his interview, he did say something that I think might just really add fuel to the fire of the fans. Is when he said, the fans were the reason I was in the main event. They kept cheering for me. They booed other people. They wouldn't take no for an answer. It's like, oh boy, that's just going to add to that fire.
But it should. I mean, again, that's what excelled Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Every moment that has been positive for Daniel Bryan was sprung from a horrible moment right before that. The Yes movement started from him losing the title in whatever it was, 8 seconds at WrestleMania 28.
The question is, though, people have to remember Daniel Bryan's health. Just because he's back doesn't mean he's 100%, doesn't mean he's ever going to be where he was before the injury. Yeah. So can he have a title run and do everything necessary? I think that's the main worry. So if you put him in the main event and he wins or doesn't win, I don't know. That's a big question.
I think people just want to see him have the title, at least for a while, because he keeps getting stripped from it, then he gets injured. It's like a tease for us fans.
Right.
So hopefully he gets a shot.
I mean, right now, do you have an ideal main event? For me, it's too early to even consider one.
I mean, we got 2 months to build something. I would like to see a fatal four-way. That's kind of where my head's at right now.
Who's it for?
I don't know. Daniel Bryan, and then either Rollins.
3 other people.
Well, no, the 2 guys that are there now, plus Daniel Bryan, plus somebody else. I haven't figured out yet.
But then you kind of risk it. You really got to build up some other storylines then, if that's
Well, Daniel Bryan, as we said, has a claim to the throne. because he didn't lose it, so that's already a built-in storyline. Rollins could easily fit into that picture. He, but with the briefcase, he kind of doesn't have to. But the Authority can just put him in there if they feel like it.
Don't forget, I mean, he could cash in at Fastlane and change the whole gamut of everything.
Yeah, would people be happier if it was Reigns versus Rollins?
It would make Fastlane more interesting. I'm already kind of like, Fastlane, the heck? Okay.
There is a way to make it Reigns versus Rollins versus Ambrose.
Which would be so fun.
Yeah, I'm only into it if it's a three-way. But again, they just had three-way at Rumble. They had a three-way at last year's Mania.
Right, good point.
I just don't think we're going to get a three-way. As much as I want it and would be totally fine with it, they don't tend to repeat themselves.
There's a question in the chat. Rospa again asks, what
Jesus,
was...
he's never... Come on, Mustafa, you're all over the place.
He likes us, okay?
No, yeah.
What was the point of Dean Ambrose's appearance? Question mark.
It was fun. It was just fun.
Tonight on the show, he means?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a 3-hour show in the snow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would he walk?
crazy.
That's crazy.
You got to fill time. He was there.
He's
and
important.
all you got to do is put a camera in front of him. He doesn't need a writer. He's going to be great. And he's right. People in Philly love him. CZW days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
It
good
shows
answer.
that he's important to the WWE, the fact that he was on the show. There were only the top guys on the show tonight. And the fact that Ambrose and Rollins are part of that, Reigns as well. It was just Cena, Lesnar, and Daniel Bryan. That has to be some kind of good indication.
Yep.
We got a fatal four-way here.
Okay. Brock, Reigns, Bryan, because he was stripped, and Orton. Ooh,
Orton. Alan Cheesy, way to call it.
Yeah, we haven't
Could
seen
do
him.
Some damage.
There's a lot of people that haven't
Is
come
he
back.
injured? Because
No, he's fine. He was just filming that movie. He was at that house show that you were at.
I keep forgetting that he was there.
And I agree with Mass Lunatic. I do miss King of the Ring. I think that could be something to really elevate someone.
It's interesting. I interviewed Stephanie McMahon a couple weeks ago on our Nerdist show, and we did a word game association. When I mentioned King of the Ring, she took a very long pause to answer what she thought. So I don't know if that meant that they were talking about bringing it back, if they had just recently had a meeting about,
What was her
I'm
word
reading into a
association?
lot. She said stepping stones. So, which means nothing.
That'd be a fun pay-per-view. I mean, you have a King of the Ring. The whole tournament takes place at the pay-per-view. Granted, a lot of guys have to wrestle a bunch in one night, so maybe it's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think you got to do a couple of rounds early or something nowadays.
They want to know what you guys think of the Divas tag team match last night.
They got more time than I expected, and I thought there were some really cool spots. The problem is, Philadelphia crowds are a little unforgiving. I feel like it was going to be a no-win situation regardless. Now, there weren't that many amazing spots, but I thought there were some good spots. I thought the match was okay.
Yeah, it was clean. It moved well. I think the Bellas are getting better and better in the ring.
They are getting better and better.
And Paige and Natty can do no wrong in my book. So,
Do you find it strange that it wasn't for a Divas title?
I'm okay with it because unless you have a good story for the title, I would rather just not see a title
Yeah,
match.
there's not really any solid story in the Divas division right now.
yeah.
Right.
I think they're figuring out what to do for WrestleMania.
Among other
That's
things.
the thing. It's like I want at WrestleMania, it's a culmination. I want every match at WrestleMania to have a reason,
Yeah.
including the Divas
Well,
match.
isn't that what we all want?
Right.
We all want reason for what we do.
And in the last 2 years, it seems like the only diva that ever had a really good story around her was AJ. And part of the fact that she's the best on the microphone in the division. And she has the best character. Like, her character's the most, well-rounded character. And she's nowhere to be found right now, so. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think she got a lot of time. They haven't given other divas that much time.
Yeah.
I mean, she got to be GM. She got to be
did a
everyone's
lot of stuff.
girlfriend for a year, basically. I just don't think they've given other people, because I think seeing Paige on Total Divas, which you can listen to here on AfterBuzz, she has a lot of personality.
She does.
She
I mean,
does.
she's just lively and young and vivacious, and I love her. But we don't get to see any of that.
And she's really good in the ring.
I think if they let
She's one of the
Paige
better
go,
ones.
almost like when they finally let AJ go with them, I think if Paige is just able to just let loose on the mic,
Yeah.
she could be one of those. She could be one of those people that is gonna be over regardless of what she does.
Yeah.
I mean, she's vicious. She does the headbutt. She's got the pedigree, and she's got the personality for it to where she could just be cocky at all times.
Alicia Fox too. I thought they gave her a good run with the going crazy bit, and I wish we could have kept seeing that a little bit more from her.
That's kind of a funny question. Question, guys, would they let Rosa being bi flow on Raw?
Wait,
there,
what?
you could change
I did not
Fandango.
see that. What are you talking about?
Rosa Mendez is bisexual, which is...
On the TV show, she
But
is.
they're saying, do you think it would flow onto Raw?
I mean,
It's a funny question, you know.
There's Billy and Chuck back in the day, so why not?
I mean, that was the worst gimmick ever. Why not do it again? I think
Yeah, the conclusion of it was a little odd.
it was super weird. I think it would be totally fine, and that could be another. Wasn't that kind of what happened to Fandango before? Was his girl left with another girl
And then
ultimately?
it just didn't end
but then
the
they just
story.
didn't do anything with it.
And now, I don't. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's whatever. The bisexual thing, it just goes back to HLA. I can care less what someone's sexual orientation
I don't think it
is.
matters.
It's not interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm just going down the chat.
we got more questions.
Question, guests. Bella Twins go at it to finish their storyline at WrestleMania for the title. I'm thinking, what storyline? Bella's storyline?
Well, they kind of already squashed that
What?
storyline we did have. Now the question is, can they find a way to rekindle that? If not, then I don't know how the title. It's weird because when you have both sisters getting along, how
Do you like it better when they're getting along or when they're not getting along?
Well, most people did not like their feud
I didn't like their feud.
earlier, but I think it could be done better.
They didn't really give them
Yes. Yeah.
any breath to do anything with it either.
Yeah. They just, you know.
I'm not
a
willing to
big-
give up on it.
I'm a big Nikki Bella fan. I'd like to see her do either way. She's good at being a heel. I think Brie can.
Has Brie ever been the title holder?
Nope.
Yeah, once. I think so. Oh, let me look it up.
Here's the thing, though.
I think this is Nikki's second run.
Right.
It's Nikki's second, and I think Brie had it once momentarily.
So
I don't know that she did.
you would think it's leading to a feud. Other than that, I honestly don't know. To me, it's like if you look at the Divas division right now, let's say you don't call anyone up from NXT in the next 2 months.
Which is already weird, by the way. No NXT guys in
Really weird.
the Rumble. Although it didn't work for Bo. He was in that Rumble 2 years ago, 2013.
Yeah.
Did nothing for him. He got a Wade Barrett feud out of it, and then they booted him back and gave him a new character. So.
Oh, here's one idea from I'm That Guy KJ, a Queen of the
probably
Ring
right.
at Mania. That's kind of cool.
What is it?
A Queen of the Ring at WrestleMania. That'd be because if you're gonna have a main Divas event at WrestleMania, how do you not have Paige? If you're looking at the current roster, she's got to be right.
Okay, but a Queen of the Ring meaning we would do the whole
Tournament, bro.
tournament at WrestleMania?
Well, no. Build up to the final.
The final round
Have the
would
finals
be
of the
at
tournament,
WrestleMania.
maybe along with the Divas Championship. Whoever wins that tournament,
Awesome, love it.
boom, shot
Book
the
it.
title.
Book it!
That's a storyline. Yeah, that's an easy storyline right there. You try to develop a title storyline that's going on, and then bam, you have a Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yep.
And then whoever wins that, you're off to the races.
Queen Charmel should be the one to award them with it.
Oh, of course you would.
From one queen to another.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
See, Brie Bella wins her first WWE Divas Championship.
You're basing
I thought she
YouTube
did.
as a fact.
I mean, look, I'll believe him. I'm not gonna say
I'm
no.
almost positive Brie didn't win. What did the last page say?
It says in 2011. Okay. Well, chat roll, why don't you answer that for us? Because I need to talk to these people here.
Which crowd is more harsh? Green Thunder wants to know which crowd is more harsh, the Philly crowd or my UK crowd? Philly all day, trust me.
Definitely Philly.
Yeah.
UK is what do they call it? The weird verse or whatever?
UK's
There you go.
amazing.
See, Brie won on April 4th, 2011.
Yeah. Now UK's an amazing crowd. Philadelphia, they're just they're also amazing. They're also passionate, but they can really go overboard sometimes. Trust me,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, we threw batteries at JD Drew. We booed Santa Claus. We
boy.
cheered Dallas Cowboys when they got injured.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly pride, baby.
Well, we're close to.
Yeah, we're close to ending. I mean, like, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. We talked about the Rumble and what went down, and tonight on Raw, they had some interviews. Dean Ambrose, he shines as always. The question is, where do we go from here? What happens on SmackDown? Will it just be a placeholder to Raw? I imagine it will because the ratings are always smaller.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the question is always where do we go from here after the Rumble?
That's
Yep.
true.
Yes, I wish everybody wasn't as upset as they were. I think it was the build to the final moment, not necessarily just the final moment, but
the question is, is anyone panicking in Connecticut right now?
yeah, I don't
The
know.
network, or who knows?
With the weather. Probably.
Yeah, I just don't want to see anything drastic. I want everyone to be heard. I want the right thing to be done, but at the same time, it's like, man, I don't want business to suffer. That means people lose jobs. I don't want to see people lose jobs.
I have to believe they have done a really great job. Okay, forget the Royal Rumble for a minute.
Right.
They have done a great job. Ambrose and Wyatt headlined multiple pay-per-views in 2014. Ziggler had the best run of his career so far.
What about Ziggler in the main event at Mania? I don't know how, but
they can figure out. They can write whatever they want. They can figure it out. They have done a really good job in 2014 of building a lot of the newer guys.
Yes.
I don't know why they would abandon that heading into WrestleMania.
In the chat, Miz versus Miz Dow for Mania.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Book it!
Are you kidding me?
Great.
Book that!
Yeah.
Dale, put yourself over, son.
I am The Walking Dale on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me and Johnny every Wednesday on Nerdist.com for the Wrestling Compadres Slam.
We will have plenty to say this week. And Booker T will be on, I believe, once again. So.
Oh, yeah.
Corey.
You did it right. Thank you. That was great.
I know it took me 50 minutes. I figured it out.
You can follow me, KAORIOUS, Kaorius, on Instagram as well as Twitter.
That's right. At Jay Quasto. And once again, at Wrestling Buds, Wrestling Compadres Slamcast with Dale. And, thanks for tuning in, guys. It was a weird show, but I think we did, it was a little therapeutic for everybody.
It's my fault.
Well, you crushed it. Come on. It's a little therapeutic. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's just see what happens, guys. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.